Hey, everybody, welcome to Stadium Drive, the podcast, 10 episode series where we're going through all of the songs that we put on our first record, dropped in March of 2024. We're talking a little bit about just some fun stories from the making of the project, some fun gear that we used, maybe some insight on what some of the lyric content meant. And yeah, we're really kind of down the home stretch here. We're on episode 9, track 9, which is Coins in a Well.
Mhm.
I think I think chronologically, this is actually the first song that we recorded our acoustic guitars.
You're
The
right.
very
That's
first
that's
tracks we
right.
did of the whole
hmm
project were the two acoustics. And then again, similar to some of the stories we've told throughout the series, we kind of just walked away from it for a while. We weren't
hmm
quite sure where it was going to go. Um, Alex will get into this in a second when he shows all the bells and whistles, but
hmm
we knew that we wanted this thing to be humongous.
hmm
So we knew we were going to have to take like a day, and we kept saying to ourselves, we
Yeah,
kept saying like, all right, well,
we're
we
gonna have a
still need a
yeah,
coins in a well day.
yeah.
We
We
kept
knew it
saying
was
like,
gonna be a whole day of just goofing off and
yeah,
like trying to find fun sounds and just a lot of layering. I think we both knew instinctively that this was gonna be the heaviest, not maybe not heaviest, but like the densest track. Like with it, it just felt like, at least to me, musically, it's a very simple kind of like vibey chord progression, and it felt like great soil to plant all kinds of beautiful things into.
and yeah, so it was simple. I again, this was one that I brought to you sort of very like work in progress. I had the progression, I'd written the lyrics, and you helped me write the chorus to
Yeah,
it,
that's
kind of.
right. I forgot that we
Yeah,
didn't really have a chorus to it at that
I
point.
didn't know what like B section needed,
Yeah.
and so we got that, and then yeah, we let it sit for a long time. I think we were playing it live before we.
Do you so? Am I misremembering this? Did we actually go back and re-record the initial acoustic parts because we recorded it like pretty early on in its inception, and we actually started playing it live, and we realized that we live were playing it a hair faster with a little bit more gusto than we had recorded it. And I actually think we kind of went back and redid the acoustics because we were like, the tempo just isn't quite there.
What's
Am I
funny?
misremembering that?
What's funny? I don't. I'm having like a
I believe
Mandela effect,
if I
like because
did, I
I
would have
think I
deleted it, but
yeah I
I
like because the Mandela effect is like
exist now.
I kind of remember us doing that, but I also kind of remember you telling me, you know what, once all the rest of the instruments are on it, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And so we might have just kept the very original because probably would have started tracking that in like March of 2023, um, which is crazy. That's over 2 years ago now, but
Yeah. That or maybe we did one. It's hard to tell, and I'm not gonna go right now and look, but
yeah, yeah,
there might have been one that we did without a click or something like that. Because
sure.
I'm looking at the first take that we did here, and it just feels not. It looks like it's not in sync or in time with the other ones. So I'm wondering if maybe we like did it without a click, thinking that would be the vibey way we were gonna
hmm
like treat it, and then decided to piggyback and go back and do it to a click. But I don't remember.
hmm
I have a vague memory of having to go back and
I
kind
do
of
too.
restart this though.
Wait, and so Alex is,
Yeah,
you've
sorry to derail
no,
that.
no, 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 but you've used the word vibey a couple times. So
hmm
if you haven't listened, or if it's been a while since you listened to the song, go back and listen because yeah, it's very much so the chord progression on its surface, which you can still hear those acoustic guitars coming through,
hmm
even given all that's going on, but it really kind of started to take a life of its own. A lot of just delays and reverbs and all types of voices.
Very washy song.
I think you ended up putting like 12 or 13 different guitar voices on this.
I know there's at least three different like main leads, and obviously I pretty much double mic every electric guitar I do. So
Mhm.
yeah, you're working with half a dozen to a dozen electric guitar tracks.
Plus acoustics, plus
Yeah,
bass.
plus
Like
acoustics, bass.
it gets almost to like a dozen.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
again, the that kind of fake pedal steel thing we introduced in Pale Moon, that comes back as a theme
yeah.
here. And just to great
Mhm.
effect, I think. It just kind of ties everything together.
And
Um,
and this one really selfishly, I want you mentioned kind of like the soil through which we kind of just like
mhm,
kind of cultivated this really kind of crazy like
mhm,
garden type thing. Like
mhm.
uh, selfishly, I loved that this almost became just a platform for you to just play around and completely just go all out with all the toys that you have.
Mhm.
Because to me, honestly, lyrically and like melody wise, like it's not, it's really just, I mean, coins in a well, as you like can imagine, you throw a coin in a well, you make a
Mhm.
wish. Like it's
Yeah.
a song about like how you kind of wish, or and I think the lyric literally says this. It's like
Mhm.
wishing you could put things back the way they used to
Yeah.
be. It's like, man, everything was so good. Why
Mhm.
can't we just have that thing that we
Mhm.
had like in that moment? And so it's kind of like if I were to throw a coin in the well
Mhm.
and just like wish to put it back.
Mhm.
Um, there's also the lyric about like uh, it's kind of really the climax of the song. It's
Mhm.
like a natural willingness to stand in the fire. I just want to do right by her. I think all
Mhm.
of us kind of have those
Mhm.
moments where it's like you're you're getting pushed to the point where you you feel uncomfortable, or maybe that a situation maybe has gone south,
Mhm.
but you're like you kind of stand in it because you want to do your best, or you want to give it your all to like try to mend or repair something.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's like you're literally just like standing in the pocket, like you're standing in the
Yeah.
fire and taking
Mhm.
it, but you're trying to do your best to like mend it. And so
Mhm.
yeah, Coins and Wells very much so a song about like it's like, man, if you could just put it back to where it was like when it
Mhm.
first started. Um, like and it's easy as like a coin in a well, but lyrically and like beyond that, it's very simple from a vocal standpoint. It
Mhm.
really just became the
Melodically, it's
stage
very
for
straightforward. Yeah.
yeah, and you just literally took that platform and just
Well,
went with it.
if I might say something quick about the lyrics, I think what stuck out to me the most was all the wonderful use of imagery, like with uh, rainwater and obviously a well. When you're throwing the coin well, wishing well. It all of the awesome details you threw in. That I think is to me what made the song what made it call for having all these guitars and the rain sticks and stuff, this production style that made it feel like you were out in the rain or near like a big waterfall or a big running wishing well or something like that.
What's funny, actually, I'm just remembering this just now. I'm glad that you put it that way because I this might be too on the nose, but I think I called you or texted you when this
Hmm.
happened. I was trying to finish the final. I was trying to write the final hook to the song because
Hmm.
I had the verses and like half of the chorus down, and I couldn't quite figure it
Hmm.
out. And I was sitting out on my at the time I was living at my folks' place.
Hmm.
They had this like kind of this porch that like has a cover over it.
Yeah, right.
So I was sitting on a bench like drinking my morning coffee
Hmm.
in the summer,
Hmm.
and it just had started like lightly raining, and I
Yeah.
was you had done a draft, like a rough draft of the
Hmm.
song, bounce out. So I was listening to just the instrumental,
Hmm.
trying to like run it and try to figure out what that last
Hmm.
like hook was gonna be.
Hmm.
And I could hear the rain like
Hmm.
outside of my earbuds.
Yeah.
And I think I literally texted you and I was like, what if we had some type of at the time we threw out the idea of literally having like a audio, just like a dummy track
Yeah.
from the internet that we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
download and put
Mhm.
in there.
Yeah.
And then the rain stick came up.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Shout out to Sydney, by
yeah,
the way. Yeah,
Sydney.
yeah,
So Stephanie and Elizabeth McField
yeah.
built literally a rain stick. It's gorgeous.
It's
It's covered in
gorgeous.
like glitter. Like it's got like all
Yeah,
this like wrapping paper.
yeah.
It's
So cool.
like 40 different colors, but
Yeah.
it's gorgeous. And so, anyways, yeah, we're gonna get into this right now.
Hmm.
But yeah, is there anything else like song wise before we kind of tear into? I just thought it was such a cool way for you to be because we went the whole record just doing all this like very stripped down
Minimal.
like
Yeah.
folk stuff,
Uh.
knowing that you have this other gear that you can
Hmm.
get into.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you've done other projects on your own
Hmm.
that kind of mirror this.
Yeah.
And so this song
Yeah.
kind of let you just
Yeah. This is my
play.
wheelhouse. I love dense guitar heavy music, and it's the more atmospheric and kind of vibey you can get, that's the kind of stuff I like. So yeah, it was perfect that this was and I think it was, this was kind of the penultimate song. This is the emotional climax of the whole thing, in my opinion. So it needed to be different, but like I feel like we did a good job of kind of teasing all of the elements that happen here throughout the initial part of the
Huh.
record, though. You know, like
That's
because
interesting.
you get the little bit of pedal steel, you get you get a little crazy electric guitar solo in Sydney, you get some weird like in Pale Moon, like the acoustics get to be that as vibey as they are here. So I feel like we hint at it, and finally, we get to this basically last song of the album, and it's like, okay, let's open the floodgates.
Yeah.
Like time to go. And
Just put it all on. Like it's like I've had people. What's really funny is there are people who come up to us at shows and they're like,
hmm
"Will you play Coins and Well?" And it's
hmm
like, what's hilarious. That's like the last one that I would think people would
yeah,
request.
yeah,
Because again,
definitely,
you've
yeah.
got like Don't I Know,
hmm
Mountain Standard,
It's definitely one of
Sydney.
the least catchy ones from someone who likes to just sing along to stuff.
Yeah. Well, but that's I think both vocally and instrumentally,
hmm
it just resonated in such a
hmm
different way that people
It's
were like,
yeah,
I
it
want
feels
to
good.
hear that.
hmm
And it's just so you mentioned like the record just it's just going just in this like
hmm
this just curve that's just like going through the roof and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
exponential like growth to that whole B side just continues to
hmm
ode to this fact that like we're building to something
hmm
and you don't quite know what it is.
hmm
And then Coins and Well just is all bets off.
Yeah, yeah. At the same time, though, I also love that we removed a key element, which is drums. Which there's like, other than the rain stick, there's zero percussion on the
Hmm.
whole song, and I think that that was a cool decision in the sense that it gives it more of that floating, um, weightless feeling.
What just um like flowy like
hmm
you had mentioned on a previous track about like the spilling of sand or whatever.
Yeah,
You know, in a rain stick I think it's literally rice
yeah,
and it's just
yeah.
hitting all these little
hmm
surfaces throughout
hmm
the rain
hmm
stick and so like it felt very much so just like um it there's nothing punchy like
hmm
a lot of our stuff
hmm
where you have the train beat and it's
hmm
kind of got this like
Yeah,
very
a
steady
driving
like
force.
almost
Yeah,
like a heartbeat.
yeah.
This thing had no
hmm
it had nothing to like hold on to. It's just this
hmm
very like weightless. You mentioned
hmm
that floaty like
hmm
yeah it was it just takes on a whole different thing
Yeah.
and
Let's listen to this rain stick,
I was
dude. I
gonna
can't
say
wait any longer.
so I yeah I
Yeah,
gotta
we gotta preface this by just saying, look at all this ridiculous, everything in purple
can you
here.
go back on the other screen too
Yeah,
like
hold on. I'm sorry, I forgot I did that. Look at all this purple here. This is all rain stick, folks.
everything in purple that you're
I
seeing is
believe
recorded rain stick.
we recorded we recorded two takes initially, and then I think I did duplicates and like moved them. So basically that they were just like not happening, like so that the swells weren't all happening at the same time, if that makes sense.
There
That
it was
you're
all
getting a
delayed.
more consistent, just sound of rain.
Well, and you
Let's
can
just
kind
go
of see
full
it
phase.
on the, I don't know if you want to point it out, Alex, on the other
Mhm.
monitor. Like
Yeah.
you can see kind of where
I'll
the,
just zoom
obviously
in.
the purple splotches are
Yeah,
bigger when
so
they're smaller.
yeah, so when you see these, this is sound visualized, if you will. And so obviously the bigger it is, it looks, the louder it is. And so you can see that some get louder and softer at certain points. So we tried to do a little bit of where if this one happens to be loud while this one is quiet,
Mm.
that sort of thing, just to kind of make it feel more consistent so that it wasn't all of a sudden getting too loud or too quiet. Let's listen to these things. This is crazy. All right, here's the first rain stick. We'll start here. Yeah.
I didn't realize how
That's
like
the
skilled
first
you
rain
had to be to
stick.
playing the rain stick either.
It's kind of a thing,
It
yeah.
took me so many takes because I'm like, I'm bad at this.
All right, let's add the second rain stick. Oh, yeah, hold on. Let's find a place where they're actually all in. Hold on, let's go here. Okay. One rain stick. Two rain sticks. Three rain sticks. Four rain sticks. So that's four rain sticks, and so we actually microphoned this in a weird way where I had a microphone at the top of the rain stick, towards the center of the rain stick, and at the bottom, so that as it flowed down, you would ideally be able to hear it pan left to right or right to left, however I decided to arrange the mics. Anyway, so we have all that, and then we also have a rain stick delay, which is just doing even more. I'll solo that quick here. So this is our rain stick delay. It's a little quiet right now, but just giving us a little more rain stick.
Dude, I haven't heard this soloed in probably since we did this. It
Same
actually
here.
does kind of sound like, it sounds stupid to say, but it kind of sounds like what you'd hear like rain hitting a window, you know?
Yeah, you even hear like something banging every now and then, like what could be a window flapping. Yeah,
Or
it
just like
feels
wind
very
outside.
natural.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not gonna just listen to rain
Can you
stick for 2
show?
minutes.
Can you walk through all the guitars that we
Yeah,
did too?
that's definitely the next thing we should look at here quick. Yeah, let's go here. So obviously acoustics, I'm not even gonna highlight the acoustics. Let's just jump into these electrics here.
I think Pablo's getting hungry, so he's gonna.
Yeah, we'll feed him after this episode. So here's the kind of the bass. This is our swell. Are you all the way up there, buddy? Nice. Good job. You can see here. Here's our bass electric guitar. That thing's kind of just providing support, doing some rhythm stuff. Over here. Then we've got this bad boy. Here's our first lead. Then we have a second lead. And we have a third lead here. Okay, this is actually more of a, if I remember right. Yeah, third lead basically. Kind of just playing rhythm again, but lots of vibey stuff happening. Then at the end here, we actually got 2 more leads I brought in just for the end. I forgot about this myself. Yeah, so we got some fuzz to finish the song out. So there's one of them, and then so it's funny because obviously it sounds like you'd think we're about to make a metal album, but
Can you do them all together?
yeah, let's just listen to the whole thing.
Like this back half after the last chorus.
Yeah, let's just let's get a little bit of lead up into that.
Not too little in this room, standing fire. I just wanted to the fire.
Yeah, so you get the idea.
I
Lots of
mean-
guitar. But it's funny because there's the last thing we listen to is all that fuzz, and
Mm-hmm.
it's there, but
Yeah.
it's
and,
not so egregious.
And in all of that, you can still hear the acoustics. Like
Yeah,
you can still hear the
Straight
chug of that, like
Yeah.
your Waterloo and my Taylor. Like
yep.
it's always there at the,
The core element. Yep. Yep.
So no, I'm glad that you did that. Like I said, I
I
think
haven't done that in a long
this
time.
song could have been such a very like a very very minimal song, like some of the first ones, and it really just became a platform for you to just like really just kind of go all out.
Bring
So
balls to the wall. You know, I actually don't think some of my automation's saved. I'm curious. Oh no, there it is. So if you look here, I was wondering where that was. I knew on one track, if you listen in headphones,
you can see this like
if you see this
Frankenstein, like
crazy, like all this line, that is the guitar panning from left to right in your headphones. So if there's one guitar that is doing that, so if you go listen with headphones, that's your Easter egg for the next time you listen. Yeah.
no, I love that because again, like we mentioned, we've got CDs and vinyl, and like some folks when they have these kind of bigger elaborate vinyl setups and they've got kind of the two mains like in their
Yeah.
in their living room or wherever it might be.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting kind of that really cool. You said atmospheric at the top of the episode, and I think
Yeah.
that's perfect.
That's what
Um,
the song is. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Cool. This one went really like a little bit long, but honestly, I'm glad
Yeah.
we got to do that because
This is one of the bigger songs. I had a feeling this would be one of the
Mhm.
longer episodes.
and honestly, not to like kind of a quick Easter egg, but
Mhm.
like I think a lot of the voices in this song started to inspire and inform
the next
what's
record.
about to happen on the second record. I'd venture to say by now. So in real time,
Yeah.
we're doing this in April, but I would
Mhm.
venture to say in real time you're hearing this around like June or July, and some of our first singles for the second record are
Yeah.
going to be out, and so you're going to start to hear whether it's the dirty guitars or like kind of some of the slide or
Yeah,
like some of the pedal steel type
stuff. Yeah.
and like so yeah we're it all kind of what's funny is it culminates to this and the next and last episode is going to be obviously Walden 2 where we kind of talk about sort of that declining like the falling action right but like
Yeah.
it really just came to this huge
Also,
huge-
a bookend. I am a big
Yeah.
fan of bookends every time. You
Well,
know, whenever
speaking-
something happens like that, it's neat.
yeah
Yeah.
speaking of bookends should we sign out for now and
Let's
kind
get
of
to the next one.
wrap
man.
up and
Home
get to
stretch. We're almost
episode
there.
10.
All right.
Like I said, this is literally penultimate episode, penultimate track.
Yep.
We're super, super proud of this. If you're looking for a physical copy, we've got vinyls and CDs. Hit us up. We'll get you hooked up. And yeah, appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And we'll see y'all next time.
Stand in the fire. I just wanna do right by her.